Well, it's a family type organisation.
It's just a great place to work. It's more like a family in some ways.
The company started with Eric in 1965, just it'd be him on his tools, and he just built it from there really.
Everyone gets on really, really well, and the work that we do, it's nothing ever the same. Everything's different all the time.
Every day is different. It's a different challenge every day.
The level of craftsmanship is really high. There's some really skilled tradesmen working within Eric Bradley's.
I mean, yeah, it's quite varied, the sort of work we do, from listed building work to new housing.
We build houses from scratch, we do renovations, we're putting new windows in, putting new doors in.
Barn conversions, great big barns, small barns.
You know, I do a fair bit of work for Bishop Burton College and people like that.
Then agricultural buildings, commercial buildings.
Interior, exterior.
From multi-million-pound houses through to, we'll go and still hang a door for Mrs Smith as well.
It's a chance in a lifetime to do a building like this, and it takes a company like Eric Bradley's to, I think, to be able to pull it off, because they've got the quality and the skills there.
I think the beauty is that with Eric doing a lot of the high-end and maybe a bit more complex, different type of residential work, your tradesmen naturally get that depth of work whereby they're not just doing the same thing week in, week out. It makes you sort of think a little bit differently, and you can sort of approach the job with more of an open mind. You know.
Well, we've used Eric Bradley's before on a couple of projects, and they have the reputation of being the best, and the reason I keep going back to them is because that's exactly what they are. They are the best. Eric is incredibly professional. He does exactly what he says on time. If Eric or his guys are going to be 5 minutes late, you get a phone call to say they're going to be 5 minutes late. I love that. You know, and every day after they've finished at work, they clear up. Every day, so they leave you with a clean site, as clean as it could possibly be on a building site, obviously. And all his guys are just very, very pleasant, just lovely. Just a pleasure to work with. On a big project like this, it's very, very rare that you get to hear somebody say they're a pleasure to work with, and they are.
Well, I mean, he's got his reputation now, hasn't he? He's got a good reputation, he's got his regular customers.
So we've got a lot of repeat business from existing clients, so don't need to advertise as much.
It's quality workmanship, quality projects that we work on, so it's a uniqueness, and I think that brings a bit of a sparkle to everybody, really.
A real good thing about the company for me is Eric doesn't really interfere that much, which is a good thing, but whenever you do need him, he's there for you.
They're just brilliant, you know, and Eric himself, he comes round, you know, probably once every 2 weeks whilst the build's going on, and then afterwards, and just the little touches like that. They're brilliant, they're absolutely superb.
And also, it's more the attitude, having a sort of proactive attitude whereby we know they're going to help out, you know, they're going to be sort of thinking ahead and second guessing what's going on.
That's basically it. It's a first-class job, needs to be done every time.
The lads do work well together. There's a good mix of lads working together. They've got a good. It's not just your everyday run-of-the-mill. You don't build a shed, that's it, walk off, build the next shed. Some of them have worked maybe on an agricultural job, will come to a more specialist job such as this one we're working on now. So they've all bring their own skills and things like that.
Like I say, it's a pleasure getting up in the morning, knowing full well that you're going to come to work, and you're not doing something that every single joiner in Hull or around the Yorkshire is doing. You know, we're fitting oak skirting at the moment. You can't screw it like you would do a normal piece of skirting. It's got to be different, it's got to be biscuit jointed. It's a completely unique way of working, and it tests you mentally.
There's a lot of different trades that all work together, and you all learn a bit from each other.
It brings experience, it brings a good skills base.
We don't necessarily, just because you're a joiner doesn't necessarily mean you work with wood all the time, and just because you're a bricklayer doesn't necessarily mean you're going to lay bricks. We all muck in and help out, and therefore it comes across as being quite a positive, you know, positive place to work, where everybody is more like friends really than work colleagues as much as anything.
Everyone's there to work as a team, help you out, and that's what you need.
Some people call it the Bradley way. It's the way you're given time to finish the job and do the job correctly, and it is right when it's finished.
It's not particularly the speed of work or the price, it's the quality that always sticks in mind, and you know, we'll finish a job and it's very rarely that we get much snagging to do at the end, and you know, and if there is any problems, you just go back and you solve them. You know, that's the Eric Bradley way.
On a day-to-day basis we deal with the clients ringing in, but they always do make a point of either during the job or at the end of a job, ringing up and saying that they think the men have done a wonderful job on the site and they've just enjoyed working with Eric Bradley Construction.
As the project evolved, which it always does, new ideas spring to mind and stuff, and nothing's ever too much trouble. But the thing I liked about them, they told me if they thought I was wrong, and I like that, because constructive criticism, they know their industry more than I know it. So, we got on so well throughout the project. We would all put in our ideas and everything like that, working together as a team.
With the joinery shop we have and the steel shop, you can call on a lot of skills to get your bespoke staircase or any steel work that you need for a steel frame building, and there's the skills there and the management there to call on site if you ever need it, if you're struggling a little bit, and you can call on the guys who are heading that section up and get them to site and sort things out. So there's not really any problem that we come across that we can't get over, to be fair.
We like to leave a job and everybody be happy, and that's what was on the drawing, and that's what they're paying for. And people will pay for that sort of service. There's cheaper builders in the area, but they haven't got the quality and the trademark that we've got.
I think it speaks for itself, really. The vast majority of the people that work for us have been here for a long time. 10 years is quite a short period of time compared to some of the guys. We've got guys here 30 years plus, and that's not uncommon. We get an awful lot of people who will start with us, do their apprenticeship, and are still here even 20, 25 years down the line. So, we keep busy, we keep people employed and keep going. It's positive, I think.
Yeah, come to think of it, it is great, really, yeah. And I was saying, such as myself, I'm 32 now. The chaps that have taught me, in the mid to late 60s, there are people that are 16, 17 years old. And so therefore I've relied on them, and then I've come up and they rely on me, but I rely on them still. So everyone, we all look to each other for inspiration, I suppose, really.
Oh, I've enjoyed it. Oh, yeah. I mean, you have your ups and downs, like you would any job. But I think if you didn't enjoy a job like that, you wouldn't stop it for so long, would you? 24 years old when I came here, so I've been here for a while. Yeah.
They take on all the stress, which is fantastic. So, and that meant that I got the pleasure of doing the house. They got the stress, fantastic. Working with Bradleys, nothing was ever too much trouble. It was always, what the client wants, the client gets, that's it. Superb.